It could have happened at any time. It could have happened at any place. It could even have happened here and now. I have been told many hundreds of years ago, in a small mountain village at the top of the world, something extraordinary happened. It had never happened before, and it would never happen again. And the people who would later make their homes on these mountain slopes would hear about this time, the time when the snow did not melt, but multiplied and became hard ice. Life in this mountain town was happy and joyful in all seasons. In the spring, the children would collect flowers and watch the birds build their nests and care for their babies. In the summer, the children would play in the brooks and streams, finding fish and making tree houses. In the fall, the children would collect nuts and berries and tend to the animals on their farms. In the winter, the children would spend time playing in the newly fallen snow, making snowmen and snow forts. Each child would go to school and loved seeing their friends and teachers. In the winter, in order to go to school, the children would need to be bundled up in their warmest clothes, with a scarf wrapped around their face and their feet in their snowshoes or skis. Then they could easily journey from their home to the small school that sat in the middle of the town. The school, much like their home, was always warm with a great fire burning in the hearth. The children could then quickly shed their heavy clothes and go about their work and play. At school, stories were told, songs were sung, food was made, and games were played. The teachers loved the children and made sure that all the children were cared for. At the end of the day, when all the warm clothes were back on, the teachers would tell the children that they would hold each of them in their hearts until they would be together again. Then with a wave, a hug, or a handshake, they would say their goodbyes, and off the children would go back to their homes through the snow. Spring was always a welcome visitor to this small town, where it was cold for many months of the year. One day, towards the end of winter, it looked like spring was coming. Snow was melting and the sun was warm. It was almost hot. But after that day, a storm came and almost seemed to sit upon the town. It then snowed every day. Cold winds blew, and the snow slowly turned to hard ice. Everything had changed. It was too cold to go outside, too cold to go to school or to see friends and family. Everyone stayed in their houses and waited for the storm to end. And while they waited, children played games with their parents, made food, and listened to stories of times gone by. This is where the magic began to happen. Even though it was cold outside, it was always warm inside the homes of the people of the village. It would seem that each family had a special fire that didn't only burn in their hearth, but also in their heart. The more time they spent together, the stronger this fire grew. Although, at times, the people in this village were scared or sad or angry when they came back to that wonderful warmth inside their heart, they felt calm and joyful once more. Also, there were those strong people who went out to check on the other people of the village to see if they needed anything and to share their food and supplies. From their homes, the teachers in the village wrote stories, lessons, recipes, and games for the children in their classes. They cut out projects and crafts for them to do at home. The teachers brought the projects to the children's homes and dropped them off. Oh, how exciting it was to see what their teacher had prepared for them. This way, the teacher and the children were connected during this time. The children would even send little notes to their teachers and share stories of what they had been doing. Now this storm went on and on and on. It did not cease for many months and went on longer than anyone had dreamed possible. Then, one day, the storm clouds were not so dark, and were now lightening, and there were small patches of blue sky. This gave the children hope that soon the warm sun would melt the snow and ice, and soon the people would leave their houses and go and visit with each other. Oh, what a lovely dream they had, and were very excited to one day be with their friends and family again. The teachers were also excited to one day see the children again. During the storm, spring had passed and it was summer. Summer was usually the time to be together on special playdates and to share hugs and smiles with their friends. The families knew that one day, that special day, would come when the storm clouds would not come back with another storm, and it was time to be with friends again. The teachers knew that when that day came, they would give great big hugs to all the children and would remind those children who would be going to a new class in the fall that they would always be there for them if they needed them. So while the children waited longer, they went to their summer work of playing in the brooks and streams, finding fish and building tree houses. The teachers began to prepare and decide what wonderful things they would bring to their class in the fall. The teachers would always leave their school doors open for the children to come and to visit and have tea or share cake. Now that fire never went away that had burned in the hearts of the people of this village. If you were to meet one of these children, even when they had become old, you would feel the special magic still working in them. Sitting with them was like sitting by the warmest and loveliest fire, the type of fire that brings people together on cold nights and inspires them to share the most beautiful stories. And so it happened, if ever it happened, and if they have not left, they are living there.